Coffee, more than just a drink, it's a ritual, a moment of pause, a gathering space. But in cities dominated by corporate chains, how do independent coffee shops survive? We are the Coffee Girls, Emily Hudacek, Jenna Sampson, and Milena Debo, and we spent time in Washington, D.C. exploring the city's independent coffee scene. Through conversations with local shop owners, we uncover the challenges they face, the communities they build, and the resilience that keeps them going.
I'm Kate Lowry. I own the coffee bar here in Washington, D.C.
Frankie Contreras. I'm one of the co-owners of Little Hat Coffee.
So my name is Kenya Yusida. I'm the coffee director at Neighborhood Restaurant Group, which owns this entire space. So Cameo is nestled next to Blackbird, a residential apartment building, but it's also connected to The Roost, a culinary clubhouse.
I opened this in December of 2012. I'm from a small ski resort town in Utah, so tourism is our #1 industry. So naturally, the first thing you do is, get your bussing tables job at 15. Started working at a coffee shop in high school, and just kind of the natural progression in the service industry, from coffee shops to bakeries to restaurants to hotels. And then I moved here in 2006, and same deal, just worked for a lot of both independent and also chain companies. And it just kind of got to the point where it was ultimately like, I want the opportunity to try new things and, test out my ideas and have both my successes and my failures really be my own. And just really get out there and kind of carve a little spot for myself.
I've been doing it for like 10 years. Slowly, after like the first coffee shop that I worked at was a local one. I've been in like food and coffee for a long time. I ended up meeting like my business partner at Makeda, which is like a DC staple. We got a lot of inspiration from them, and that in terms of what we think coffee could be, and like, creating a third space, creating a whole something very different from chain coffee and big corporations, and just honestly like something different.
So we don't just have craft coffee, we also have craft beer, craft spirits, craft wine, and it's all focused on sustainability, social responsibility. And we really do care about the products that we serve people.
Local coffee shops offer more than just a caffeine fix. They create a space where customers are known by name, where the atmosphere is personal, and where every cup of coffee is crafted with care. These shops thrive on relationships and the experience of slowing down.
TCV is really service. Coming from a hospitality background, that is what's #1 to me. You can have a great meal and great experience at other places, but ultimately, no matter how good the food or the coffee is, if the service was horrible, it's never gonna make up for it.
There's not the density here that you would get in any other big city, right? Like, you can't get away with doing bad coffee in DC, in my opinion. People like to travel for their coffee. Like, people like to walk to their local coffee shop.
We did open during the pandemic, and Cameo was the first stall to open inside of The Roost. So at that time, we weren't able to have people sit in and enjoy the cafe setting like how it normally is.
Walking through Washington, D.C., it's easy to see how coffee fuels the city. From morning commuters grabbing their first cup to students settling in for hours of work, each cafe tells a story. To get a broader perspective, we spent time in DuPont Circle during a weekend street market, where we talked with coffee drinkers about their preferences. Do they support local coffee shops, or do they prefer the convenience of corporate chains?
I think I try to support local businesses when I can, but it is hard because big corporations like Starbucks and stuff are very convenient.
Typically, yes, but sometimes it's a matter of convenience. There's a Starbucks or some other chain around the corner, so I go to whatever's most convenient.
Do you prefer local coffee shops over corporate coffee shops?
Yeah, absolutely. There's some kind of altruistic notion about it, but also this place is cheaper than Starbucks, so it's really nice.
I do big chains because I just do what everyone else does.
One thing was clear, people noticed the difference. Whether they choose local or corporate, coffee culture is more than just a transaction. It's an experience that shapes their daily lives. Corporate coffee chains dominate the market with aggressive marketing, bulk pricing, and technology-driven convenience. Local shops, on the other hand, rely on quality, atmosphere, and community connections to retain their customers. It's a different kind of loyalty.
Honestly, I think there's something special about finding a gem, finding something on your own, and then oh, that's my spot. And I don't care about the big brands.
We call ourselves the Cheers of Coffee Shops, so we try to remember drinks, remember orders. And I think that's what really, sticks with people. And we have people that come in every single day. We have people that come in multiple times a day, every single day. So I think that's really what matters to people, is that recognition and just making it feel like it's their spot.
Running a small business comes with significant challenges. Margins are thin, and a single bad month can put an entire shop at risk. Rising rent, increasing costs of ingredients, and inflation creates constant pressure. It's a delicate balancing act that requires resilience and passion.
See, coffee prices have just skyrocketed in the last year or two, by a lot, commodity coffee prices by 30%. So it's more out of necessity rather than we need to just match whatever they're doing. We only give you the best that we can give you, and then we don't give you an option for worse, right? It is what it is. We're not gonna charge extra. Same thing for the milks. It's included in the price. Obviously, our prices are gonna go up in the next month or so, but we're still trying to make it very equitable, where people can come most days, not every day, but most days. But yeah, I'm not too worried about the prices, versus as long as we can pay our staff and we can pay ourselves, and we can continue to invest and reinvest. And that's the thing, is we continue to reinvest everything that we make back into this.
There has been some pressure to keep coffee prices stable, where I haven't necessarily seen people ask me to necessarily go down in price. I have had to go up in price recently. We believe in the products that we sell, and we know that it's worth that amount. So honestly, I think that specialty coffee lends itself well to these price changes, because we're kind of used to explaining to customers what is happening globally.
It costs what it costs, and it's the same for specialty coffee. It's the same across the board, and coffee is a boutique product. It's a luxury product, and right now especially, the cost of coffee is at an all-time high. So I've never been one to undercut the competition, because I also do think that sends a message about the level of your product. Whereas if you're putting out a great product in a great atmosphere with great service, then that drives you to keep the quality high, but also then the perception of everything that customers are getting their money's worth.
Beyond financial struggles, there's an emotional weight to being a small business owner. These shops are not just places of work. They are essential parts of people's daily routines, a responsibility that keeps their owners pushing forward even in the difficult times. We saw the dedication firsthand. Early mornings before the city woke up, late nights planning the next day, and the constant challenge of staying ahead in an ever-changing market.
%90 of owning a business is showing up, is doing the work. You have to be there day in and day out when it comes to knowing your customers, to knowing the flow of operations. You're never going to know your costs and your inventory if you're not there to see how many cappuccinos are you making a day. So you got to get in. You have to get that experience. A lot of people think that it will be easy and jump right in and just be charming, but I carried 120 pounds of ice this morning to the other shop where the ice machine was broken. So it really is putting in the time, putting your face, and knowing the business. And ultimately, you need to have an interest in it, because it will, wear you down. And so the reason that I keep coming back to it and what keeps me here is the relationships with the customers, with the regulars, and also building a great team that you actually want to work alongside. Because I do work on the floor and still behind the bar. So that's what I love about it.
when you open a coffee shop, you're doing it for yourself as a small business owner, but you're also hyper aware of the neighborhood around you and the people that you want to serve.
As we sat in these coffee shops, we noticed something different. People weren't just grabbing a cup and leaving. They lingered. They talked. They treated these places like second homes. Every shop had its regulars, people whose orders were known before they even spoke, who came not just for coffee, but for connections.
Whether I live in the community or visit the community, I like to go see the coffee shops that are local. Because everybody can go to a Starbucks all the time. The beauty of a Starbucks, of course, is that it's consistently the same. But a place like this and other local places can be more interesting.
I feel like with small business, you just expect the hospitality, whereas at Starbucks, it's a business, it's, fast or whatnot. So I feel like people are less incentivized to be friendly there.
I've befriended some of the baristas at my local chains, which is really nice. So I feel like I have more of a relationship.
The most rewarding part definitely is being able to curate a menu that you can feel proud and happy in highlighting all of the individual players in what we call the specialty coffee chain. Be able to access really amazing and rare coffees, and sometimes just very normal coffees that have a really great story behind them is probably my favorite part.
Yes, there's a lot of coffee on the market, but there's also a lot of bad coffee on the market, right? Like there's a lot of not great coffee shops serving not great coffee. So again, same thing, prioritizing quality over quantity always. I mean, we've gotten lucky with the amount of traction that we've had. Like we're very much like people search us, and if they're visiting the city, will come up, which is kind of like very interesting. We get a lot of people from out of town. And again, DC is one of those cities where people like to travel to like the places that they like because everything is so kind of like, it's like a big wide city versus like a tall dense city. So I feel like I think people that like it and they find something that they like, they're gonna go to it. And again, because we're not so dependent on volume and more so like consistency of people revisiting, I think we're fine. I don't think we're too worried about like a coffee shop opening up next to us because they won't be able to do it the same way we are. I feel like corporate does like a lot of things. They worry a lot about their branding versus like we have nice branding, but it's not our priority, right? Like it's nice to have it. It's nice to like I went to art school, like I was able to meet a talented artist there and she designed the logo and she designed like a lot of the layout. And then Juan's fiance did the layout design for the menu. Ultimately, we're like, yeah, that's like not a priority because it's like that costs a lot of money. So honestly, like in terms of brand loyalty, it's really just us being genuine to ourselves. Like we can't give you fancy cups with fancy like lettering yet, like we're not at that stage yet. But really it's like we try to like focus on like the quality, the consistency, the friendliness. Like you could talk to the baristas, like they're not gonna like be mad at you for like talking to them. It's encouraged to a certain extent.
I never really wanted to incentivize people to come back based on giving away products or dollar amount. I want to stand out based on the quality of product, the quality of service.
Beyond serving coffee, these shops serve as cultural hubs, gathering spaces and homes away from home. It's an atmosphere that no corporate chain can mass produce. Independent coffee shops are more than just businesses. They are the heartbeat of a city, places where stories unfold, friendships begin, and communities thrive, one cup at a time.